the economics have really changed in the world of content, and so you actually have the power, and you're way better positioned to succeed versus them right now. That all comes from when you were a publisher, it used to take a lot of scale and a lot of specialization. You needed to have printing presses and delivery trucks and relationships with newsstands. And if you could do that, you owned distribution, you could fend off competition, you had huge pricing power, it was a beautiful business. But as we all know, all those walls have come tumbling down, and now any one of us brands can compete right alongside with a publisher. We can easily put up an instance of WordPress or any of the CMS vendors here and compete alongside them. The difference is in the economics and the value that a publisher gets from a page of content, comparing a publisher versus brand. Let me tell you what I mean. So if so a great content marketer is called Rackspace. I don't know if you guys know Rackspace. They're a web hosting company, and they produce a ton of content about, not about themselves, but just how to do things in web hosting. They have a huge audience of web hosting professionals that come to them. So they're competing with like Web Hosting Today or Information Week, who's a traditional media company who's running ads for their business. Let's compare the two models. If you have an ad up, and you get a visitor to a page with an ad, that ad's probably getting about a $5 CPM. I don't know if you guys are into ad economics, but basically Information Week's getting some fraction of a cent for that visitor. That's the economic value. Now let's consider the value for Rackspace when a visitor comes. Even at a really low conversion rate, with the lifetime value of a customer for Rackspace being in the thousands, because they charge hundreds of dollars a month for their customers, you can see how the value of that visitor is well into the $1 and above range. So your economics are way better than this media competition that it might seem daunting to compete against. You can invest a lot more into content because you'll get a much better return off it over time. So some key takeaways, and I'll summarize from time to time things that I think you should walk away from and remember as you consider content. 1, create content not about yourself, create about your customer's interest. Your customer is 10,000 times more interested in that than they are interested in you. 2nd, it seems daunting to compete as a publisher, but in fact, economically, you're in a much greater position than these media publishers that are out there. So you just need to go out and attack them.